It's French front pages with our press reviewer Nicholas Rushworth, who's here. Hello, Nicholas. Start us off.
I'm going to start with a bit of good news for the French. Paris is best. Well, not quite wholly, but compared to other world cities, it's coming out a little bit better. Last year, it was ranked 8th in the world, and now it's ranked 4th in the world as a world city. And that's being reported there in Le Monde and also other parts of the French press. Now, Paris is, of course, the world's most beautiful city. Of course, we couldn't not say that. But it's coming out top. There are lots of different categories in this report by PricewaterhouseCoopers, and the category for quality of life puts Paris at the top. And Le Monde there saying in that piece that it's the transport system. We have excellent transport here in Paris that makes Paris the best city in the world for quality of life.
Not to mention the 24-hour news channels, of course, in Paris, which are excellent. Now, moving on to Le Figaro, they're concentrating on domestic politics and the Prime Minister, Jean-Marc Ayrault.
Well, this is the front page of Le Figaro, and there, Ayrault, le doute s'installe. Ayrault is the Prime Minister, Jean-Marc Ayrault. He's only been in office 5 months, and Le Figaro, a right-leaning paper, is saying, well, people in the ruling majority are saying maybe he's not cutting the mustard here. Now, it points to, in the inside pages, to the fact that Manuel Valls, who's the Interior Minister, he's getting a lot of attention in the media, and could he, the whispering is going on, could he be the one that could be the next Prime Minister? Now, also, the central problem has been for this recent debate in Parliament. There were rebel socialist MPs in the EU fiscal pact debate. The legislation did go through, but the fact that there was a rebellion has raised questions about Ayrault's capacity to sort of be an authority figure for the ruling party.
OK, now Libération is devoting the first 6 pages, not just the front page, but the first 6 pages of its paper to Syria. And that headline there is War Without End.
There you can see it, La guerre sans fin, war without end. And that's, of course, to do with the conflict in Syria, which, as we know, goes on day to day from horror to horror. And there you can see a man wailing, his arms on his head and blood on his jacket. Inside the paper, the reporter for Libération on the ground is actually in a town south of Aleppo, and he's saying that the action there is sniper against sniper, it's street against street. Now, what we've got in this situation is that people, basically in the town he's actually visiting, feel a total sense of desperation. That town is Mariet al-Naman, and the report in the paper says that the cultural centre in the city, there was an act of violence on Monday. 60 prisoners were killed in the basement of that centre. So the readers of Libé this morning getting a full report on that violence in northern Syria.
OK, well, in terms of front pages, it is quite a mixed bag this morning. Lots of different choices by the different papers. Le Parisien has chosen to lead with a crime case.
Well, crime is emerging as a kind of prevalent issue in the press at the moment. This is about a case that dates back to the late 90s. And there we can see in Le Parisien aujourd'hui en France, malaise après le verdict. So a debate and a degree of upsetness about a verdict in a case concerning a young woman, Nina. Now, it refers to a gang rape in the late 90s, 1999 to 2001, over a period of 2 years, in a suburb of Paris, Fontenay-sur-Bois, and there is debate because the verdict that came 13 years later was very much against her. 6 people were given 6 months, and several others were not sentenced at all. So various reactions to that are basically stupor and incomprehension. How can this be? So it's raising a debate in the French papers.
OK, thanks very much indeed, Nicholas, for that look at today's French press. Well, still to come here on Live.